Hello everyone, welcome, thank you for watching, thanks to all our subscribers, really appreciate it. We've been a little bit quieter recently because we've just been really busy, but we've been working on some really cool projects, so we've got some great stuff in the lineup to show you, and including some project cars for some of the summer events and shows that will be happening soon, so lots more to follow. But today I've just bought this Mercedes EQV a few days ago, and I'm going to give you a bit of my first impressions of this car. It's something a little bit different. I like different, and we're going to basically be using it as a bit of a mobile office and events van, but we've got a few other ideas in the lineup. But this video now, just a casual first impressions, show you some things about this EQV. I think it's a really interesting proposition. Of course, you can't buy a new 7-seater electric vehicle at the moment other than this, so for some people it might need to be something to consider. What I happen to have in the warehouse at the moment is this VW Caravelle. We know how popular these are. They've been selling bucket loads of them, and if you go to Cornwall today, you're going to see a massive ratio of these compared to even cars. So multi-seater Caravelle versus multi-seater EQV. These are still pretty expensive. This doesn't come cheap, but how does it stack up in a few places? So let's give you some opinion of this car and how it compares to, we're very familiar, VW Caravelle. Okay, so a quick bit about the EQV first. One battery size, 100 kilowatt hours, so a good big battery, about 90 kilowatt hours of that apparently is usable. 3 versions, Sport, Sport Premium, Sport Premium Plus. So there's only 3 versions. This is the lesser version, and I'll describe some of the differences as we go around it. It should give a range of over 200 miles. And I don't think there's any other sort of van types out there that can do that. There is the Vauxhall Vivaro E-Life starting to appear now, but they're like 50 and 75 kilowatt hour batteries. So again, this stands out against them, and one of the reasons I made the choice to pick this car, so you can still do the longer journeys quite easily. Charging port at the front corner here, a bit unusual, CCS. We're used to these VW Caravelles. These are obviously extremely popular. We see loads of these being used as family cars, not just airport cars and taxis, but family cars, cool surfing vans. And maybe there's a bit of scope in this to take on some of that image. Maybe that's why I'm wearing this surfer top here. Anyway, so I'm only covered 350 miles in this so far, so this is kind of like first impressions video and what I think of it and what I don't like about it as well, because of course I'm pretty good at moaning about stuff, so I'll tell you the bits I don't like about it so far as well. Let's go show you around it. The EQV only comes in the extra long wheelbase variant of the V-Class Mercedes, so it's pretty long. It's over 5 meters long, and it's about this much longer than a Tesla Model X, whereas this Caravelle is under 5 meters in length, but this is the short wheelbase version, and it's about that much shorter than this. So they come with 7 seats, 2 in the front, some really comfortable armrests as well, electric sliding door as standard, and 2 seats, 3 seats, but of course we've got these rails, so you can move all this stuff around, take seats in, take seats out, configure them forwards, backwards, whatever you like. So very flexible, do what you like with it. Now you do have to have the Sport Plus to have an extra rail down the middle, which gives you then the kind of picnic table thing that you can slide up and down. So this basic version of the van doesn't have that. This is pretty handy, a split opening tailgate on these, so you've got, you know, if there's another car parked here, you can still grab some bits out of the boot. And of course the whole thing does open out, and it's electric. You just have to kind of wait a little bit for it. And then you get a Type 2 to Type 2 cable, and in terms of boot space, well, it can be what you like. Again, you can slide these seats forwards and back. These are the seats in their rearmost positions, as far back as they go, because although there's more rail, this is limited by this pillar here. We have taken one of the seats out of this, so there's only 6 in it right now, but that's the great thing, you can vary that. So we've got an extra seat here, then there's double, then those 2 in the middle, then those 2 in the front. Does that make sense? The Caravelle here is also one lifting tailgate, but it doesn't have the split opening glass. So yeah, if there's another car parked here, then you're going to have trouble getting things out of the boot, because obviously it's a pretty long vehicle. And then inside, kind of similar to the Mercedes, we've got the 2 seats at the front, 2 seats here. Again, there's some shuffling you can do, and then there's a 3-seater bench in the back of this one at the moment. Now that 3-seater bench is the 3-seater bench, so you can't take one segment out like you can with that, which I think is really handy. But this Caravelle does have a center table which can lift up and the table comes out, so that's kind of nice, and my poverty spec EQV doesn't have that. The guys have just valeted this, so I don't really want to put my feet in here. In fact, why would you put a light grey carpet in a Caravelle? where family use and lots of people getting out doesn't seem to really make too much sense. But to drive, this is pretty good. We're sort of familiar now, 2-litre TDI engine. We've got a DSG gearbox, which is pretty good. And for a van, it drives pretty well. You do find that kind of lack of response on pull away. And you know, if you change your mind about pulling out into the roundabout, you get that delay with the automatic gearbox as it changes gear. But as vans go and as modern auto gearboxes go and combustion engines, it's not bad, and you can happily take on a very long journey with this. Got sat nav, got air conditioning, got electric doors in the back. It's pretty good. From the driver's perspective, I found it really comfortable actually. I like driving vans because your feet are lower down. I find I can just sit in them for much longer without getting any kind of backache. So really good, really comfortable. Steering wheel's just like a modern Mercedes car with nice leather. It's quoted as 0 to 60 in 11.7 seconds, but actually it feels and goes like it's a bit faster than that, to be honest. And of course, like every electric car, you just got that instant power available. Especially if you put it into sport mode, it does pick up really well with quite a sharp throttle response. It's a little bit bouncy over the bumps in terms of the fact that you're sitting on the front axle, but it really is very reasonable. In the front of the EQV, well, firstly, this does have the latest version of the Mercedes interface. We've got the MBUX system, which as I get used to it, yeah, it's pretty good. This is the same as in the EQC, so I started to get familiar with that when we drove that car. See our other review and other videos, and maybe a link in the section of the screen above. It's pretty good. It works quite well. Navigation seems good. You can add waypoints. There is app connectivity, so I can easily kind of preheat the van, see what the charge is, and do some stuff on it. It's not quite as good as a Tesla app, but it's pretty good for a van. I keep saying for a van, but yeah, it's more like a modern car, really. Very good. I like all this. I'm not really a fan of wooden dashboards, but it works in here, I think. It's absolutely fine. Love these air vents, they're very good. This pad for the interface on the screen, very good. This basic model, manual seat adjustments, I'm afraid. The only thing that's kind of really bugged me in the front here at the moment is you have the center console, and in here you've got some storage and some connectivity and somewhere to put your drinks, but it then stops you easily being able to kind of lift your feet around to crawl through to get in the back, which is something that's pretty cool about these. And I'd love to see if I can fit some swivel seats to this as well. That might be something we'll try. So it's not really a direct comparison. That's a much newer van to this. This is a 2015 car, but in here it feels much more commercial, industrial with the hard plastics, but I'm not going to knock it down for that. It is a few years older, but you can see how the Mercedes really takes it onto a level that makes it not feel like a commercial vehicle, by far, by quite a long way. It's really good. It's nice, like a really good car. Yeah, but it's good. I quite like it. It doesn't feel like a van, that's the thing. And there's sort of a bit, when you try and park it's quite long, but not too long. But anyway. In the EQV you have comfort mode by default, that's what it always goes into. You can push this button up and it goes to sport. And that sharpens the power, brings on better throttle response, and it moves along pretty well. But it can also come the other way. We've also got Eco mode, so you feel a softer throttle response with that, and then you've got Eco Plus, which is a kind of maximum range mode, and that really stretches the best out of it by reducing the air conditioning power, and you feel much softer throttle response, but you still cruise down the motorway with it. You can't do the voice command for that on this one, by the way.
You can't?
No.
It's the same system.
Yeah, no. Turn on my heated seat, please.
Sorry, something went wrong.
Mercedes me, my Mercedes. Mercedes? Mercedes, are you there? Hello? Mercedes? Hi Mercedes.
How can I help?
Can you turn on my heated seat?
Unfortunately, there is no voice-operated seat heating in this vehicle.
Which is strange because in the EQC with the same system it works. And actually in the EQC it seemed to work it seemed to know who was saying that command. So if the driver said it, it would turn on the driver's heated seat. It must pick up from the 2 microphones up here who said it. So I thought that was really clever. I thought I'd have it in this, and I don't. Oh well. Just have to press the button here. Some buttons on the steering wheel, and then on the lower dash you've got this little pad here which you can use to scroll around the screen. You can touch the screen as well, of course, but if you don't want to get fingerprints on that, I'm starting to get used to moving around with this now, and it's got like a haptic feedback. So again, I'm getting used to controlling it with this, which is quite good. I've still got my little screen protector on here. I'm going to leave it on as long as possible, but I only just realised rather than putting fingerprints on that, you can use this. And down here is where you change your drive modes, and you can also open and close the doors, just like this. You may enter now, sir. See, it just makes you feel like you're a chauffeur when you're in this car. Is it Heathrow Airport? Okay. Of course, with the seat this way round, it's quite sociable if you're parked, and if you like travelling backwards, it's okay, but you're kind of limited to how far back you can go depending on the driver's seating position. You can fold it down like this, but why didn't they just make this a flat table so you could put a laptop on it? Probably so that you buy the other version with the extra rail with another kind of picnic table on it, but they're £10,000 more expensive, and I don't think there's any table that you can put in a van worth £10,000. Anyway, you can also move this seat obviously up and down, backwards and forwards. You can tip it up, so that's useful if the seats are facing that way and you've got to get in the back. Now, you can obviously take these out. If you do that, they're pretty heavy, I have to say. If I release the springs on this one here and go, yeah, I'm just going to pop this seat out. I'll just quickly turn this around so my daughter's friend can get in the back. No, I'm just going to leave it there, whatever. I'm going to line up these tabs at the front. You wouldn't do this every day.
You okay there, Richard?
Yeah, just fine. You just stand there. That doesn't work. Yeah, let's come back a notch. It'll be fine when you get used to it. Nope, that's not it either. See, they're really flexible to just move these seats around however you want to have them. Can't even be bothered. Right, let's do this. There we go, that's in. No, it doesn't come back. Why won't it come back? Yes, there we are. Which one is it now? There, that one. No, that's that one again. Don't press that one again. There we go. Just lift it. Just lift it. Tell you what. You won't hear me because my microphone's on the floor. After all that, what you do need to do is sit down. Right. You ready? Shall we roll with this bit in the back, gents?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to catch my breath. So once you are in the back, oh yeah, now we're talking. This is where you can happily rest yourself after you've had a fight with the seats. It does feel like you're kind of meant to be in the back. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And what I want to do here is, obviously we've taken one of the seats out from the back row there, but I'm still kind of playing with layout in here, and I want to do like a camper version, so maybe some camping gear that we can bring in and clip into the rails, a bed system. Got to fit my daughter, my wife, a dog in here. Can we do a camping trip? Well, maybe we're going to try that soon. That'll be a great video if we can do that. What's it like to camp in one of these? So this has got lots of opportunity, loads of potential, loads of moving stuff around. Of course, you can just take all the seats out and have a massive van. What I did find I can actually do is put that seat forward, and I can lay flat out down here. There's still 2 meters of length behind this seat here. So do you want to follow me through? Look, I better demonstrate this to you. What I like about this is I think I can make a really good camper out of this. I'm obviously going to move this seat. I don't need that in there. And there we go. Loads of headroom, loads of legroom. I'm going to remove these seats out, don't need these most of the time, and then I think this could make a brilliant camper. I've got somewhere to put my drink here. There's some 12-volt sockets, there's a drink holder here. We've got electric windows in the back, but they only kind of tip outwards. But I'm getting loads of ideas just being in here. It's so practical. Of course I'm going to put my surfboards in here because I surf loads, obviously. That's why I've got a surfing t-shirt. So surfboard in here. Of course mine's really short because I'm really good at surfing. But yeah, I'm getting really excited about this van. I think we can do loads of stuff. And at events and shows we can actually have the seats round, and it's a bit like a mobile meeting room in office. So I can see that we're going to use this in loads of different ways, and looking forward to running this in the company. So with that seat still all the way back, there's loads of room here, so I can still sit with tons of room. So easy to have all these further forward and still have a massive amount of boot space, no problem at all. This seat can't recline any because there's a pillar there with this position, but this one can, so I can sleep here. And again, nope, there's, you put me in the back here, there's no armrest, but yeah, again, this is the place to be. But the Caravelle can also do this, and this seat drops right down and you can make a bed out of it. The Mercedes doesn't do that. Be good if it did, wouldn't it? Also, the Mercedes doesn't have these window blinds, and the Mercedes can't do this as well. Let me come around here. See, this has swivel seats. That would be good to save lifting them out and moving around. But you can see you have to move this table thing first. But yeah, the Caravelle's still good, isn't it? So my Billy Basic version here only has one electric adjustment on the seats. The other ones have fully electric. And that's the lumbar here. But on this side, it doesn't work, which is a bit annoying, especially as it's stuck in the most outward position, but obviously it's going into Mercedes next week. The other thing that I'm getting used to really is that the handbrake is here, and it turns itself on automatically when you go to take the key out of ignition, but it doesn't auto-release. And then it goes the opposite way to what seems intuitive to me. So you have to push it to turn it off and pull it to turn it on. No, it's the other way around. You pull it to turn the handbrake off and you push it to turn it on. To me, like, it feels like you should pull it. Anyway, I'll get used to that. So you've got to allow as well that once the seats are out, if you're not going to use them, other than them being heavy, they're just kind of then quite awkward to store. They don't sort of sit flat. It's not like you can put them somewhere and then kind of sit in them. They're actually kind of awkward. You can fold them up. That's about the best you can do. So allow some storage space. It'd be good if you could open them out and then sort of sit in the garden with them, really, wouldn't it? But yeah, you can't really do that. What do I think the real world range is of this? Well, we're going to be doing more testing, more driving of this van. We have only just covered a couple of, well, 350 miles we've covered now. But we did do one trip, which was from Stoke-on-Trent back down to here in Bournemouth. So that was 211 miles. This van had about 92% on it when we left, and we got back here with 4% on it. So I think that was pretty good. I was expecting, really, for a vehicle this size and weight, 2.6 tons, it's heavy, isn't it? A bit more with me in it now. Anyway, let's not go there. I was expecting this to have a real world range of kind of 170, 180, and probably in the winter maybe it could be down to that. There's a massive cabin to warm up here, remember. But 211 miles in one trip with plenty spare, not even from 100%. I was really impressed with that. That's motorway speeds, not trying. It was in eco mode, but it was just at the speed limit. There was a bit of traffic that day, so a little bit slow in places. So it does look like the real world range, certainly in the warmer weather like this, is going to be, let's say, about 230 miles fairly comfortably, maybe a little bit more. So much more on real world range and comparisons to follow as soon as we can. Got cool LED intelligent headlight system here, but I've not driven in the dark, so I can't comment what they're like. They do seem to move around and do lots of stuff, so I bet they're really good. Anyway, let's round this video up. So what do I think of it? Well, first impressions are it's a bit different. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really excited about what we could do to make it a bit different. I think the key for me here, running this as a work vehicle, but also a bit of a family vehicle and doing some trips in it, is I want to make it not look like an airport chauffeur taxi van, because that's really what it is. If you go to London, you'll see loads of black V-Class Mercedes. So that's going to be the goal. It's a good little project. Let's do some stuff with this, which is going to make it stand out and not look like one of those taxis. So stay subscribed to the channel. We've got some great ideas in place. I hope it pans out. No one's really kind of done too much with the EQV yet. It's too new, and the ones that are on the road are just being used as those taxis. So a bit of an experimental process. Stay subscribed to our YouTube channel and we'll film some bits as we go, and of course the end result. Plus, If you happen to be in Brighton on the 18th of July, we're taking part in the London to Brighton rally. We might make it to EVs in the Park on the 17th, and then there's a number of other events in the summer in the UK. So if you're here and you want to come and see us at one of those, Fully Charged Live, for example, make sure you do. In the meantime, stay subscribed to this channel, look at our other social media, and thank you very much for watching again. Really appreciate it. Give me your comments below. What do you think? What would you do to this car, this van, this car? Let's call it a van, because it is really based on the van. What would you do to this to make it look less like a taxi? Make it feel less like a taxi as well. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.